Hello, everyone. Welcome to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path, where today we have gathered to play some They Came from the Cyclops' Cave. Before we dive into it too far, a couple things I want to make sure that you are aware of. They Came from the Cyclops' Cave is currently available over at DriveThruRPG. It's available in print on demand and PDF. Go ahead and throw the link to that in the chat here. You'll also note, if you're following Onyx Path on the various social media locations, that there have been reviews rolling in where we've thrown up a new trailer for it to cover some of these reviews, which has been a lot of fun. If you go look for that, I believe it's up on our TikTok and our YouTube. And speaking of other social media things, all these things have been compressed into our lovely little link tree. So you can find all of our social media there. Also, our most recent or most current crowdfunding is usually found there as well. So if you head over to the link tree, look up top, you'll notice that the notification link is now active for At the Gates, which will be our next crowdfunding campaign. If you click on there, it'll notify you when the backer kit goes live for At the Gates. It's something you definitely don't want to miss, especially if you're a fan of fantasy role-playing. Of course, also speaking of that, They Came from line, Classified came out as well in POD and PDF, and we would definitely love for you to head over and check that out. And I will throw the link to that in the chat as well. All right. So since that has paid the bills, as it were, I would like to go ahead and introduce our players. So let's kick it off with Millie. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would care to promote.
Sure. Well, hi, I'm Bunny Arden and or Millie. My pronouns are she and her or they and them. I'm like a 90s anime bunny girl villain VTuber. And I'm glad to not quite be the rising evil still this time, even if my mom and is maybe back and not super chill about it. I'm playing Belladonna Blightwood, the daughter of Mother Blightwood, the big bad villain from a couple seasons ago. That our next PC might be very, very familiar with, it seems. I'm here to be awkwardly gay for the character who's not here, and to cast magic at my enemies and amuse children. Yeah.
Excellent. All lofty and glorious.
Oh, and
goals.
really poorly attempt to intimidate people. Yeah, that's sort of big one recently.
Nothing wrong with a amusing failure to intimidate. That's always a guarantee of a good time. And speaking of guarantees of a good time, MK, please, if you would, tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hi, I'm MK Anderson. I'm a good time. I'm an editor. Right now, I'm a light novel editor, which is very exciting. I also freelance TTRPG editing, and I do some indexing, that kind of thing. I am playing Hilda Warrior Princess. Her pronouns are she, her. I use any pronouns, but you can't go wrong with she, her if you don't want to be confused. And yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. And of course, I'm Travis. Pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games, I am writing them. If you go over to our link tree and you dig around, I'm sure you'll find a thing or two I might have worked on. So when last we gathered, Hilda, after the team was attacked by Ham-Fisted in the middle of the town square, Hilda instructed Alice and Bella to wait in the town, and that she was going to go try to track down Ham-Fisted and get some information. While she was off doing this, there were some interactions with Alice, Bella, and the townsfolk. I believe, if I recall properly, Bella sought out Alice's sister and issued a bit of a awkward threat.
Yeah,
Well,
a very effective intimidation warning to be nicer.
right.
It worked great.
Essentially. And there were some discussions. There were some, as you moved through the village afterward, you noticed being followed by sort of a magical sensor. And then you went to a meeting of the Tradesmen's Association where you met, thanks to meeting a lovely local tradesman by the name of Duncan. And while you
Oh,
were
right, in our shopping montage.
in your shopping montage, yes. And while you were there, the meeting was interrupted when Duncan was possessed, apparently by your mother. You managed to wrestle him free of the possession and banish your mother, but Duncan grew ill. And the only cure for the illness is bark from the trees in the sad forest where Alis has now gone to recover said bark. So we're going to back things up a little bit here, as last session Helga was not with us, so we're going to focus in a little bit on what's going on with her first.
Sounds good.
So you've been you took off chasing after Ham-Fisted in the hopes of gathering, I assume, some information, or perhaps gathering him and just beating him down. What would be? What do you think would be Hilda's motivation for this chase?
I think I think she's grown attached to the kids, and this person threatened the kids, and she's gonna put down the threat and see if there's any information that about who he works for, what he wanted.
Okay, excellent. Are you trying to track him stealthily, or are you just hauling ass trying to catch up?
I think she's more of a haul ass kind of person.
All right.
Like she doesn't have any finesse, anything.
That's fair. In that case, what I'll have you do is I'll have you go ahead and give me a athletics stamina, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I will have Ham-Fisted do the same.
Getting out my dice roller.
Oh, you're fine. I had to dig my dice out too.
I didn't get any successes.
Okay, excellent. As you're sort of racing along, you are able to follow the trail, but you're not able to keep up. If you recall properly, Ham-Fisted was being dragged away from the scene on his belly by Clarence, the pig that is connected to the end of his wrist. The trail, not difficult to follow. You can see like the line, and as you get right, and as you get out of the city and are like well into the countryside, you realize he hasn't stopped. Like there's still just like the body being dragged up the road. Eventually, probably about a mile or so out of town, it cuts to the side and starts cutting through a cornfield. And like you can see where like the corn has been knocked down as the pig is just, carelessly dragging Ham-Fisted through the cornfields. And eventually, probably another quarter mile, half mile off the road, to what looks like maybe like a hill that's got a cave entrance in the side of it. And it looks like he's been dragged inside there.
I guess we're going in a cave.
Excellent. Are you doing anything to generate any sort of light or anything along those lines?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure I have anything that would generate light. Let's see if I have anything. don't think I have anything that could generate light, and I don't think I'm a magical character or anything. So perhaps it's time to rethink this because uh like I don't think she can go into the pitch dark. Is there any light at all in the cave?
There doesn't appear to be any light source that you can see immediately. Go ahead and give me a integrity cunning roll if you don't mind.
Okay. I'm just seeing that I have. Okay. 2 successes.
Excellent. So you notice something glinting deep in the cave. It could be light flickering from like that you're perhaps seeing through the crack of a door or around a corner. It is pretty difficult to see from here. You think if you navigate your way closer, you'd probably be able to get a better beat on it. If you want, you also think, well, if you want to get some light going, you just ran through a cornfield. So one thing you could probably do is grab a couple of handfuls of corn husks, wrap them around the end of your sword, and light those on fire to act as a makeshift torch, at least for a little while.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Excellent.
Mess up my sword a little bit.
It smells a little gross, but it definitely throws light.
All right.
And as you make your way into the cave, you can now see that littering the floor, once you get probably about 20, 30 feet in, not very far past where the sunlight goes to the entrance of the cave, you see human remains. Looks like long dead, bones mostly, but sort of littering the floor. Doesn't take much to tell that these people all died of what looked like severe puncture trauma. There's broken ribs, there's holes in the skulls, things like that.
Um, is there a trap or anything around?
That's a good question. Why don't you go ahead and roll larceny cunning for me, if you don't mind.
Okay, let's see if I have. No larceny. I'm a very upright person. And cunning. I've got one die to roll.
All right, let's see it.
Would you believe I didn't succeed?
I would believe you didn't succeed. On the bright side, that gives you an extra rewrite in the pool.
Yeah.
On the downside, you certainly don't see any traps.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep going.
Excellent. As you walk along, it does become clear when you get probably about 50, 60 feet in that flicker you're seeing is torchlight. Looks like, given the height, it looks like it's probably a torch that's on a wall sconce of some sort. But as you're approaching that light, you feel a slight tug on one of your feet mid-step, realizing that you have in fact hit a tripwire. And when you do, you hear sort of a loud crunching noise, but then it starts repeating like a clicking sort of crunch. You look over to the side, and your torch reveals there is a trap. It looks like a spring-loaded series of spears that are supposed to come out, stab into, and go back into the wall. And it appears as though the trap isn't functioning, or its function
Awesome.
has been altered based on the. It's definitely throwing a lot of noise. Like, you're sure that if there's anyone in these caves, they know you're here now.
Awesome. See, I'm gonna I'm gonna cut that tripwire. Hopefully cut the noise.
Sure, he does so.
Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna try and creep carefully. Like I know I can't. I know I'm not a finesse kind of character, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm a warrior princess. I muscle through things.
All right, you press on as you make your way up toward the corner. You're probably 10 feet from the actual corner of the cave when you start to see some shadows dancing on the wall under the flicker of the flame, as it looks like three figures are approaching you. You are still around the corner, so you technically will have like surprise on. Like they know you're there, but they know that you're in the area, but they don't know like right where you're perched. So I will give you the first attack because if you want to attack, or if you want to make some other dice action as they're getting around the corner, I will defer to your action first.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Just because some people are in a cave surrounded by corpses, that doesn't make them bad necessarily. But now that I think it through, maybe
Necessarily.
it does. I think maybe it does. I think it might. So yeah, if there's I'm trying to think if there's something I can do that would be less than deadly but not
I mean, you can
friendly.
absolutely trip them. You can attack them with the flat of your blade at any time. Anytime you want to make a
Awesome.
attack that is not designed to kill, you can certainly do that.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to the closest one to me. I'm gonna knock him prone.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a close combat and might roll, please. I believe this is a little bit more up Hilda's alley. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe you get 2 enhancement from the sword normally, right? When you're not like using the power of Grayskull with it.
Yeah, that sounds right. So I get +2 enhancement.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. This is a lot of dice. Okay. So yeah, I did okay. I did 6 successes.
Excellent. Let me just roll their defense here. Um, okay, they got 2 on the defense, so you hit with a net of 4. So with that, you could choose to deal them health. You could choose to trip them. Um, you,
I'd like to knock him back and hopefully get another one knocked over with it too.
sure, absolutely. So yeah, if you spend the kind of 2 to trip the first one, and then the other 2 to trip the second one, you will have
Yeah.
bowled 2 of them onto the ground. The third is going to lunge forward. Oh, I apologize. The knockdown trip is cheaper than they came from. So it's actually 1
Hmm.
success to knock down each one. So you could
I'm gonna knock them
also,
all over.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you knock down all 3. And do you want to also, with that 4th success, uh, did you want to damage one of them?
No, I don't think I want to damage them. I think maybe if there's some way I can get them pretty tangled with that, like at least one of them pretty like I don't necessarily want to do health damage, but maybe put them in a position where it's a little tough to get up.
Sure, I'd allow you to like complicate their next turn, basically. That would be
Right,
fine.
exactly.
So they sort of fall into a ball of flesh, and you realize as they fall and drop down, they start sort of slithering over one another and um, freeing themselves that way. It occurs to you that these are absolutely serpent folk cultists, and they are
Oh, okay.
each going to uh, try to get up and attack you. So they have a complication of 1 in their attempts to get up, that if they don't resolve, they will take damage just by virtue of, like, tugging and pulling on and kicking one another. They also will have the additional complication of getting up and attacking in the same turn. So they're basically at a complication of 2. You can go ahead and roll whichever resilience attribute you would like to roll to defend, or you can go full defense if you want.
What does full defense mean?
So if you go with a full defense, you would take your entire action rather than attacking. You would just roll double your resilience attribute of choice. Or you
I
can
think I'm just
reflexively
going to do the
yeah.
regular.
Okay.
Yeah. So just the stamina probably.
Yeah, whichever resilience attribute you want to lean on, I would assume stamina would be the one you'd want to go with for this case.
Yeah. So that is 3 successes.
Excellent. Let's see how they fare in this battle. I bet you not that well. Well, one never knows. Sometimes fortune smiles on the villain of the story. I just need to get back to the villain of the story. I guessed page numbers very wrong. Spooky. There we go. All right. The first one tries to lunge forward, basically manages to scoot themselves free, almost like slither across the ground toward you, but do not manage to get up off the ground nor get their weapon free. The second one sort of does like a somersault up to their feet and lunges forward at you with their scimitar, missing wildly. You were never in danger of being hit by this person. The third one, however, hops up, and as if their allies had sort of softened you up, they do hop up, lunge forward, and strike at you. They absolutely miss, but by a much narrower margin than everybody else who's attacked you. Like that one, you kind of felt the wind off the blade as it sang past you. In light of this, you now have 3 serpent people, 2 of which are standing, the others still, on the ground on their belly. What would you like to do?
I am going to the one that nearly hit me. I'm gonna cut his hand off.
Excellent. I love it. Go ahead and give that a shot. Your
See what that would be close combat and probably might.
close combat might, and then you have the 2 enhancement for your sword.
That is 3 successes.
Excellent. You swipe, and they go to parry and kind of bring their scimitar up like directly in the way, effectively, of where you're swinging. So their hand goes flying, scimitar still grasped in it, bounces off the wall. They scream as blood starts spraying out of the end of their limb and turn around to start trying to flee. The others the one who's on the ground like rolls over, sits up, and runs deeper into the cave.
Nice.
The other one that is on their feet sort of like falls down into a stance like they're gonna fight you for a second, and then turns on their heel and runs deeper into the cave.
I think that's probably the rational response as opposed to finding someone who can do that. So I guess we're going to pursue.
All right, as you start making your way through this section, you realize this is no longer where the cave opened up and the sconce is hanging on the wall. You're no longer in natural cave formation. This is areas that have been tunneled out. You walk along probably 20 meters or so of hallway, and then come to an area where there's kind of a T intersection. Basically, you can go to your left or your right. You can hear conversation in both directions. If you'd like, you can go ahead and roll, I would say, humanities or mysticism.
Hmm.
And this would probably go with cunning, intellect, or resolve.
Well, let's see, where's humanities? It's in alphabetical order, but I always find trouble finding it.
And humanities is the bottom of the column on your left, I think.
Okay, I'll go with mysticism. I have 3 successes.
Excellent. You absolutely recognize that they are speaking a dialect of the serpent folk tongue that you know was kind of abandoned by most serpent folk centuries ago. It reveres their old and destructive gods. It's commonly, apocalypse cultists and whatnot use this dialect. You also can hear another voice speaking that dialect, but in a distinctly human accent. You can tell by the overstressing of the slither sounds and a lot of clanking of teeth that the serpent people don't normally have when they speak. It's kind of a tell that it's a human speaking it. And since you got 3 successes, I will also note that you can. The human speech seems to have an ephemeral quality that the rest of the voices lack. This indicates to you that it is likely some sort of magical communication at play.
Mm.
And you hear that coming from the hallway to the right. The voices on the left are all serpent people, as far as you can tell.
Well, we're gonna go toward the human voice, I suppose, and I think I'm gonna try and go. Well, no, I don't think I'm likely to succeed if I try stealthy.
Okay.
Um, so we're just gonna walk in, I think.
All right. As you walk in, the door hangs a little open. It's not been properly closed.
Mhm.
You sort of look around the edge of the door frame and you can see Ham-Fisted is sitting in a chair. There's one serpentine cultist sort of treating his wounds. You see another serpentine cultist standing in front of what looks like some sort of a magical mirror. There's various runes inscribed in the frame of the mirror. And reflected in the glass, you see a very muscular person wearing what looks like tight leather armor. It's colored in blue and purple, and they have a hood up over their head, but the flesh is gone entirely from their face.
Is this? Am I recalling correctly? This sounds a bit like Belladonna's dad, or somebody.
Um, as far as you know, you're not sure who Belladonna's dad is, actually.
Okay.
Now you have heard that
Relatable.
uh, you have heard rumors that even in the time before you sort of arose to heroism, there was a dastardly villain who haunted the land by the name of Skullface. Uh, this looks to fit the bill. But as far as you know, they were dispatched decades ago by a hero named Golden Goldmane, the one who uh, is you may have heard rumors of them sort of disappearing not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look around for a rock because I think the first thing I'm gonna do is try to throw that, break the mirror so they don't know. So if I run in, uh, cutting off hands, whoever they're talking to doesn't know what I'm up to.
Okay. You grab a piece of
Yeah.
rock. Go ahead and give me a athletics. I would assume roll
Athletics
plus might.
and yeah. I have one success.
All right. You throw the rock and it hits the mirror and cracks it, and the skeletal face looks in your direction and shouts, "We have intruders, you fools! Take her out! Destroy the hero!" And Ham-Fisted sort of gets up stumbly and says, "You're in the grasp. Get her, Clarence." And very weakly holds the pig up at you, but is going to attempt to fire a stream of slop at you. So you can go ahead and make that stamina roll again if you like.
I have two successes.
Excellent. This time, as you hold up your sword, readying yourself for the blow, the slop does hit you, and as it does, it pushes you back and slams you into the wall behind you. You actually take 2 injuries.
Ooh.
As this force is so great that it shoves you back into the wall.
Okay. So I think I'm going to just shout, why are you after us? Like, just sort of why? And then we're gonna go for trying to kill them at the same time, so maybe it's not gonna uh be this is not the most effective questioning method, but
So
it's
you're
a
shouting,
children's movie.
"Why are you attacking us?" And you're diving forward at Ham-Fisted or at the cultist or at the mirror?
I'm gonna go for a Ham-Fisted, and I'm gonna try and separate Clarence from Ham-Fisted.
Excellent. Go ahead and give that a roll. We'll see how well Ham-Fisted can withstand such a blow. So go ahead and give me a close combat might.
Yeah. I have 3 successes.
Excellent. You bring your sword down and it slices. And was that before or after your enhancement from the sword? +2 enhancement.
I got the 2.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So you bring your sword down and off comes Clarence. Clarence hits the ground and runs basically between your feet out the building. Ham-Fisted falls to the ground. Says, "Oh, I'm dying. Oh, this was the worst day ever. I should have just stayed in the farm. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Dang. Shoot." You hear, "Quiet, you boob." And purple energy shoots out of the mirror, knocking Ham-Fisted unconscious. The cultist spins around and draws their scimitar at you.
Do are they going to take an attack, or is that my
It's your
fear?
action. Yeah, their reaction was to turn around and pull their sword.
Awesome.
So you may absolutely
Uh,
act.
I'm going to kill the hell out of this cultist with 4 successes.
Excellent. You bring down your sword on the cultist, and they sort of feebly attempt to bat your sword away, but actually sort of knock it directly into the path to where it splits their face down the middle. And they sort of slide down the blade to the hilt and then fall onto the ground. And you hear a slow clap emanate from the mirror. What a glorious performance, warrior princess.
Why are you after me and the kids? I just want to know why.
Oh, you're not important to my plans at all, aside from being a thorn in my side. Stay out of the way, and we will have no difficulties. But you and the meddling brat and the would-be hero are proving difficult. And I do not
Good.
like people who are difficult.
I think she's just gonna walk over the mirror and just break it with the hilt. She's
Excellent.
done with this guy.
As you go to break the mirror with the hilt, go ahead and give me an integrity cunning roll real quick.
Okay. Okay. Too bad. That's 3 successes.
As soon as you step up and you draw your sword back to break it with the hilt, you do notice that this Skullface has a sword strapped to his back. And you recognize the hilt of that sword as the weapon that Golden Goldmane used to wield. The sword that gave him his power as a hero.
I just am pausing, like, what did you do to Goldmane?
You could say that I am directly responsible for his destruction. Unless you would like to follow him to that fate, I suggest you back off.
I think we're just gonna break the shit out of this mirror at this
All right,
point.
you shatter the mirror angrily. You hear fading as the shards hit the ground.
So I'm gonna turn back around to Ham-Fisted and see if there's anything I can do to wake this guy up enough to let me question him.
Sure. Make a medicine intellect roll, I suppose.
Let's see. Intellect. Okay, we're okay on that. Let's see if I've got a quip or something. Uh I guess she mutters to herself, if this were easy, anyone would do it.
That's
Uh,
fair. And the quip
and
gives you +1 die, correct?
yeah,
Your first time using it?
yeah, and I think I'm gonna need that because I'm just relying on my intellect. So
Give it a shot.
1 success.
Okay, with 1 success, you have managed to wrap up his hand. Honestly, probably, I assume you're not terribly concerned about like cosmetics here, right? You're just trying to save his life and get him awake.
Yeah.
You grab one of the torch off the wall sconce and hold it over your blade for a few seconds and then slam it onto the end of his wrist, which has the dual effect of cauterizing his wound and waking him up. Oh, son of a goat, that was terrible. Why did you do such a thing?
And it's like, I will cut the other off if you don't tell me what is going on.
Says, they gave me a chance. They gave me a chance to live out my life. I got to survive, and nobody else got to survive, and they're gonna eat us all, but those who are serving. So I served. Me and Clarence talked it over and decided it was the best. Where's Clarence? Where's Clarence? He starts rubbing his stump.
She's like, Clarence is gone. And now you need to go back to whatever farm you came from. I'm going to clear out this cave so nobody's going to eat you.
Tears start rolling down his cheeks. He says, I can't go back.
They're all dead.
All of them. And they took the color. Place is empty.
You're an idiot. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna go kill these fucking cultists. And if you get in my way, I'll cut off the other hand. You won't have anywhere else to go back to. So you sit tight here. I'm gonna take care of it. And I charge into the other chamber, I think.
I think the way this goes for the audience is the camera remains rested on Ham-Fisted and his ever-growing look of shock and horror as he just hears like smashing and stabbing and get back over here and just all sorts of like horrors waft down the hall through the door.
Yeah, I think she's got that sort of attitude that you know how some people who never get a cold are with people who are like, well, what's the problem? She doesn't understand why somebody wouldn't just say no and cut everybody's head off. So she's not that, oh, somebody came and killed your village and now you have to serve. What are you talking about? So she doesn't have that much sympathy, but she's going to go take care of it.
Excellent. You are wiping out the cultists inside the cave. No problem.
Yeah.
I will come back to you momentarily. Meanwhile, back at the village, as we slow fade to Bella, where is Bella at this point? This is probably, we'll say it's about 45 minutes to an hour after Alis has left.
She's probably trying very hard to keep herself busy. She's gotten pretty used to having one of these two around and maybe is trying to figure out some feelings around one in particular. And you know what? I think she's looking for a music store, somewhere to buy an instrument.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find one. There's all sorts of shops. And it is pretty late, but you do catch a shop owner as they're actually like literally on their stoop getting ready to lock their door.
Excuse me.
Yes. Can I help you?
I know it's awfully late. Can I take a look at your instruments?
Oh, anything for one of the heroes of the people, please. Right this way. They open the door.
It's a befuddling title. Thank you.
Well, you were involved with that. You ran off that crazy pig hand.
That's true. I did. I think I got bit by a pig.
Well, that's if that ain't heroism, I don't know what is.
You're right. It's confusing.
What can I get for you? I have a pan flute. I've got a pan flute. I got the harmonica. I have an accordion. What kind of instrument would you like? Bagpipes?
Curious about the accordion. It's always been interesting to me. The way you squish it and it makes a fun sound.
It does. Now, this is a full-size concert accordion. He lifts it up, and it's like 3/4 of the size of him, basically, and sets it down on the counter. It's a little unwieldy.
She's, with few exceptions, rarely seen something so beautiful. How much is it?
For you saved my shop. We could have been overrun by those cultists. Thanks to you, there's colors on these walls. You go ahead and take that as a token of my appreciation for your heroism.
No. Well, I'm going to pay you something. Otherwise, they'll think I stole it. So,
Listen, if you insist, a simple coin would be more than enough.
sure, it's gonna pull it at least 2.
He says thank you, and you just keep fighting the good fight. We need people like you.
Thanks. Do you have any music books?
Yeah, he grabs a stack of like 4 books and hands it to you. This should walk you through the basics of how to play accordion and read the sheet music for it.
Amazing. Thank you.
Enjoy.
I really, I'm sure you'll be hearing squeeze, squeeze from me.
He like belly laughs at that remark. Seems almost too amused by it. But then shows you the door and locks it behind him and takes off your way. As once you've acquired the accordion, what's your next stop?
I think probably back to the fancy hotel that they have acquired to get settled in, make sure all of this stuff is secure. See if Hilda has like appeared or has been murdered by something. We'll find out that later, I suppose. And then otherwise fully try to learn the accordion. Just been really appreciating music recently. Like I have a whole what's on her sheet? It's the trope about it for Face the Music, where like the whole time she's been like humming and picking up music, and it's sort of I think one of those like things. It's like, oh hey, life and joy and fun and community is actually neat, and I think music is a core one for her. So
Go ahead and give me
try to learn the accordion.
Go ahead and give me a humanities and
Yeah.
we'll say cunning roll, please.
Cunning is nice. What is humanities? We just don't know.
It's the bottom left of your sheet. It is the study of art and whatnot.
Wait, actually, is there humanities on here? There's culture.
Yeah. Is there not humanities on the sheet?
I don't think there is in this one to make room for mysticism.
Oh, you know what?
Right, yeah.
I think I'm rocking I think I have the old sheet open is my problem.
Dun.
Should be culture. I apologize for all those times I asked you to roll a skill. It's not there.
That's all right. I've won. Yo, well, let's go.
All right. It takes you a moment. The accordion is no simple instrument.
However, I am no simple musician. Clearly,
it takes you a few moments to sort of figure out how to maintain the squeeze and what buttons to push to get which tones out. But surprisingly, you managed to work out a relatively rudimentary song with some effort. Whilst you're working on that, my impression was that Hilda was planning on slaughtering the remaining cultists, looking for any clues that are in there, and then covered in the blood of the cultists, making her way back to the city. Is that accurate, or was there other things?
Correct.
Go ahead and give me...
It's very Conan.
Exactly. Go ahead and give me... what would you like to lean on, I guess, to look for clues while you're inside the cultists' cave?
I think I'm gonna have to lean on mysticism because I'm not a clue gatherer, but I have a little mysticism.
Sure. Give me a mysticism, intellect, or cunning, whichever you prefer.
Let's see. 2 successes.
Excellent. Not bad. First thing is you figure you should probably get what's left of this mirror, like the frame, because those markings will probably tell you something. Okay. You also do find in one of the cultist chambers down that other hallway, they had what looked like a war room. On that war room table, pinned to the table with daggers, is a map. You can see areas of the map that are grayed out effectively, based on what you've heard from other people's accounts. All the areas that are grayed out include the areas that have already been attacked, but it's a much greater portion It's probably a third of the immediate portion of the continent is grayed out. You see deep in the grayed out territory a mountain range, and one of the mountains is called Muertos Peak, and that seems to be marked with an X, and then there's a little skull next to the name too, as if perhaps that may be an important location. So you're able to get the map and the frames of the mirror. So you have those with you as you're returning back. By the time you finished slaughtering the cultists, Ham-Fisted seems to have fled, and you never do find Clarence.
Never find out what he knows.
Plot twist: the pig is behind it all. You
Dun.
with your spoils gathered, you make your way back to the rat cellar where you had been staying, where the barkeep sort of begrudgingly tells you, "Hey, don't drip any blood on my floor." They went and moved to the upscale place. I guess they got tired of their roommates here.
Okay, so I'm gonna go track blood on the floor of the upscale place.
They sort of raise an eyebrow and say, "We were told to expect you. Here is your room key and a towel."
Thank you. I'm just wiping it off.
They sort of just stoically stand there staring at you with their hand out, waiting to take the towel back.
Yeah, just handing Grammy towel back. There's just not
And,
a lot I can do.
and they never look away from they just maintain eye contact as they sort of hold the towel off to the side and drop it and say, will there be anything else, ma'am?
You have a bath available at some point, and then I'm gonna.
Your suites have bathing facilities within them.
Unbelievable. Just had enough.
All right, as you get to the top of the stairs, you start to hear the sounds of an accordion being squeezed. Now, what genre of music would Bella be beginning with? With this
Probably something
accordion?
surprisingly boppy.
Okay, excellent. So you hear
Maybe it's polka.
yeah, you hear a polka.
It's like bum 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 banana banana. That's not polka at all. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think I'm enough on edge that I've got my sword at the ready as I open the door in case there's some kind of accordion-handed freak in there.
It was me.
I am the squeeze box.
Accordion-handed freak all along. Done.
All right, and make a note. Stat up squeeze box. Okay. Yeah. So you open the door. You can clearly see Bella. That there's she's wiped blood off, but it's more like smeared blood around.
Yeah, just the whites of my eyes visible because I've probably got dirt on me too. So it's just
So
terrifying.
looking much like Arnold
Dramatic
Schwarzenegger in Predator.
Stopping noise like that whop sound.
And
Look up.
in addition to wearing her sword, she has a rolled up map and what appears to be a couple pieces of metal tubing of some sort in her hands.
Well, it looks like you caught him. Goodness.
There's a cultist cave. I recount what I saw and draw a bath and where's Alice?
She's gone on a quest to save a local who we sort of recruited earlier today, who was then possessed by my mother at one point. It's been an interesting day. But I got an accordion. Womp womp.
Well, I mean, at least somebody's relaxing.
I'm trying to. It's been a strange time. Okay, really quick updates. How do we go? People are calling me a hero, and it's very confusing to me. Um, Aylis's sister might be in league with some of this stuff here, which is concerning. There was a whole, just for show, let's call it a magic show at a local meeting we attended, trying to scare us away. Um, she did some very unconvincing magic to banish the spirit of my mother, to try to scare us off or get us off the trail or something. But didn't quite hold water, that one. So I think there's
It
probably
seems
some
like
kind of infiltration on the council, which is not surprising because they are, fools. But yeah,
it
is that a
seems
map?
like yeah. I'm gonna I'm getting the bath ready so that I don't get blood all over the map. I probably already have, but
Yeah, I mean,
um,
on the back of it though, like you didn't get it on the front, you didn't get it on the
Mhm.
important part.
yeah. But it seems like in families like this, you have if you have a really truly good person, fate makes a really truly bad one in the family just to even it out. So I guess you're the good one,
Is
meaning
is
your
that how
mother's the
that
bad one.
works?
Seems like it. I mean, Ayla's has a bad apple in her family, and she's,
Oh, do you have a bad
expect
apple in
she
your family then?
probably got that. I've certainly got annoying ones.
It's like a type of apple.
It's
The
true.
annoying apple. Yeah, we're onto something there. Go have
Yeah,
a
there's
bath.
yeah. So
Try not to
uh,
touch too many things. In fact, I might.
yeah, getting the soap,
You know what? Don't worry
messing
about
with the
it.
soap.
We'll look over the
Yeah.
map when you're out.
Yeah.
As she goes into the bath, Bella's fully gonna like clean,
all right.
get the blood smears
Yeah.
off things. She's somewhat adept at cleaning up blood smears at this point, so
Yeah, I
that's
was gonna
fine.
say she's been
Yeah,
trained from
you
a
gotta
young
keep
age.
your mom's layer pristine after various interrogations. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and if you wanted to go out on a Friday night, you had to make sure that you had cleaned the abattoirs first. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
uh, so after a relaxing bath, you come out and find the place basically cleaned up. All the blood has been cleaned up. The map has been rolled out and opened, and the frame sort of set up on the table next to or against the table where the map is sitting. Do you want to go ahead and give me a mysticism intellect roll, Bella, as you're looking these things over?
Sure. Do. I have nothing at all. Didn't roll above a 4.
Awesome. So you're looking it over and you cannot place the markings on the frame other than to know that they're old magic. In looking over the map, the only thing that you note is looks like a lot of gray on that map, and the Muerte Peak is, as far as you know, was the former lair of a rival of your mother's who had been destroyed long before your birth. But she would periodically send scouts and spies there who would invariably fail to return.
Mhm. Ah, that kind of former layer, right. Huh.
Other than that, you don't really get any glean any insight into it.
Well, I have to admit, I have no idea about a lot of this, but Peak's familiar. I think there was some kind of rival villain. I just remember a bunch of insults. I don't really remember the name. Who lived there that mother was very concerned about. She would like send people out to take a look to make sure that they were gone and they would never come back. It was very like, standard stuff.
Mhm.
We got the same sometimes too. It's normal. scouts appear, their entrails get removed, they don't report back, and then you get to be like, mysteriously in the shadows or something. I think that was her MO. Sure, it wasn't the only one, so.
You have to be really careful in case you make like a skeleton army, though. That does seem to.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that one. I guess if you want the
Yeah.
skeleton army, though, right?
Your mother would want a
I
skeleton
don't know. I haven't
army.
really done many disembowelings in my time, so. What if a disemboweler? I like bowels where they are. Seems nice.
They
I'd rather
are
not
convenient.
look at them, to be honest. Kind of weird. But to each their own. Well, do these symbols mean something to you? I'm gonna point out the mystical symbols on the side.
Should I make a roll?
You can make a mysticism check if you want to. Mysticism, intellect.
Feels like they're important, but my brain's full of bum 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 bum. I got nothing.
And you failed that roll, right? So now you're at
Yeah.
5 rewrites, by the way.
Oh, right. That's true.
Okay. How many? Can I use that to add a die?
Yeah, if you want to
That'd be
spend up to 3 of them, I have no objection. If Bella has no objection.
No, not at all.
I'm gonna spend. How about 2 die?
All right, that works. I only suggested 3, so you're getting your half of the pool in the scene.
Yeah. I got 1 success.
All right, so you're looking them over, and you realize that you have seen similar runes to these. There was a relic that Mother Blightwood had at one point, a sort of staff that had an orb at the top of it. And the staff had this magic on it, these runes that tapped into this similar magic. And you just recall it being described to you as like a primal force of destruction. It could very well be that this magic draws on the empty itself.
That would make sense why, and I convey this, and it would make sense why somebody would spread the empty if there was a staff that drew on the empty.
I suppose to build up their power base or something.
I wonder what the end goal is. Is it just power for the sake of power? Because some people just want power for the sake of power, but sometimes people want power to do something.
She was here. I very much got the impression that it was destruction for the sake of not having to feel. And maybe she needs some more power to that end, or someone else is using her for power. I have no idea.
We all got problems. We don't have to destroy the world for it. I've got my own.
Take up an instrument. Womp womp.
Exactly. Well, I'm not sure whether we should sit tight, wait for Alis, or I'm not used to thinking about what about other people on these sorts of things. I usually just charge in.
I feel like she told me she knew she had to go on this alone, so I'm trusting her on that as much as I have the desire to scry and see what she's doing every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Which I'm resisting the urge of. You should be very proud of me. However, I do think we should do things. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are cultists in the city. Her sister's clearly up to something. We should at least take a look there. We don't have to solve that problem without her, but we could.
We can kill some cultists if you want.
Want is a strong word, but
and we can always leave word at the front desk for Aylis where we're headed.
Mm-hmm.
She'll catch up. All right.
Well, part of it would be to figure out where you're headed.
Yeah.
If you wanted to try to investigate the cult's presence in the city, the best lead you have is Alita, Aylis' sister.
Mm-hmm. We could also head to the Spooky Death Mountain.
You could head to the Spooky Death Mountain. That's a bit of a trek. So for that, you probably would want to wait for Aylis before you start trying to make that trek. And you have to go through a lot of area that's already blighted.
Right.
The other thing is you do know that there's a library at the keep that may have more information on these ruins. So that is another avenue of investigation you could pursue.
You love books.
If you're a reader, I'm not much of one.
Well, it's like a
Then
little
we
portable
could look there.
person that doesn't judge you.
I think I'm fully judging you. I think you said that. Well,
Don't worry about it.
Well, if you
I
want
feel like
to,
the pressing thing to do is to try to figure out why, at least for me, why Aylis wanted us to be so convinced that she was trying to dispel, my mother's influence on the city and get us off her tail.
okay,
There's
So I
something
guess
there
we
that
go-
feels concerning.
yeah, let's go intimidate her.
I
sister.
tried to yell at her to be nice to her sister, and it didn't go well at all. So maybe you can yell at her, and it'll work better next time. She's mean. The girl's just a boob.
Well, she could be mean to me all she wants, but I've got a sword.
See,
So
that's
let's-
true. I don't have a sword.
let's
I have an accordion.
go be. That's terrifying.
I know, right? Imagine me atop a spectral horse, accordion in my hands, armies quaking at my feet. Doesn't
Weird
quite add
owling.
up.
Okay, let's head out to have a talk with Aylis' sister.
Right. So you're heading to the Wizard's Tower, to the keep. You're granted access with no question. The front guards just let you in. You're respected, at the very least. Hilda is a respected hero. So once you're inside, where would you like to go? Do you want to try to find Alita's quarters? Is there somewhere else you'd like to search? Is there anything else you'd like to do first before you confront Alita?
Maybe we should discuss our approach a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like she probably thinks she's tricked us. I don't think she thinks very highly of Aylis or me. So maybe if we inquire about how she could so successfully dispel someone as powerful as Mother Blight would, and learn some details on that, can suggest that there must be some kind of personal connection of that much power or something like that. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. That would
Try to
make
figure out
sense.
the connection here. I don't know. It bothers me. Also, right, Slitherus is around somewhere, skulking.
Remind me, is Slitherus somebody who's part of the council or anything, or just a bad guy?
Well,
Slitherus is one of the heads of the serpent cult.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I was gonna say, well, he wasn't the dad that stepped up. And he did appear a couple of times growing up. And I think he's sort of one of the heads of the cult. We had a bit of an awkward encounter in the hallway earlier.
I see. Well, let's visit her quarters and have a little knock and have a little chat. I guess we're going to handle this delicately instead of waving our sword around, which is maybe not the best approach for me. But if we need muscle, if you need,
Then I will hide behind you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, minion. I'm joking. I promise I'm joking. I promise I'm joking.
The
Yeah.
the perhaps most important question is: are you bringing the accordion with you, or are you
Oh,
leaving?
100%. Yeah, putting it in like a little bag.
A little bag.
Yeah, it's
Just
not
a
a little
bag with
bag.
an
It's like
accordion
It
shaped
you have
squishes
bag.
down though, right? Like
you
it's
have
gonna
like
squish
a
down.
backpack now that you carry your accordion.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just with a massive villain armor, like an accordion dedicated backpack.
Exactly. You make your way in, accordion in your backpack. The guards let you through and absolutely tell you what floor Alita's quarters are on. As you make your way up the stairs, when you arrive at the door, you see a pair of leggings tied around the door handle.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I don't want to be that rude. I mean, I want to be rude, but not like that rude, right? Wow. Huh. I mean, we did this in school. I didn't imagine keep it going during. Wow. Huh. Oh, the stockings. Yeah. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you both? Why don't you both give me integrity cunning rolls, please?
Sure.
Not the leggings. Okay.
This isn't to figure out the leggings. You have that part.
I
Yeah.
got 3 somehow. We're looking for 8s, right?
Yeah, you're looking for 8s or better.
Yeah.
And 10s count as 2.
Nope.
3 successes.
Excellent.
Woo!
You both very distinctly hear serpent people language. You can't quite make out what's being said, but it sounds like it's kind of being like whisper yelled almost. And there are other sounds of a struggle emerging from from the.
Oh, where I'm kicking that door down.
Oh no, she's in
like-
danger.
Yeah.
You have to save her, noble hero.
Yeah.
After you,
Give me an
gesture
athletics.
Yeah.
towards the door.
Give me an athletics might roll, please.
Let's see, athletics and that is 1 success.
Excellent. You reach up, you kick the door. It takes you a couple, like two, 3 kicks to get it to fly open. After the first kick, you absolutely hear like chaotic sound coming from inside. And as the door flies open, you see Alita like kind of finish floating to a standing position as she's wrapping a robe around her. And she's like, "What is the meaning of this interruption?"
I heard some snake language and a struggle. So how about you explain to me what's going on right now?
Did you not notice the marking? The door was. I had my tights on the handle.
Gonna poke my head in. Is everything okay?
I would like you both to give me an integrity cunning roll, please.
Two successes.
10s are 2, right? I have 5. I have 2 10s and an 8.
Oh my God! Yeah.
What the heck?
Let's see. All right. So you said you got 2 for Hilda.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see anything, but you can clearly see Bella out of the corner of your eye. There's like a coat stand in the corner of like the main section of the quarters, and you can clearly see a cloak that's hanging on the stand. Has like serpent people feet and a tail dangling from the bottom of it.
Very mysterious, very mysterious. Can I use like a little magical gust of wind to blow it off?
Absolutely. You send a gust of wind. I'm not even going to make you roll for this. It blows
Just a little?
the
Yeah. Oh, that coat's not hanging quite right.
blows the
goodness.
cloak and reveals Slitherus standing there in all of his now uncloaked glory, as the cloak was not sleeved or anything. You just sort of blow it free.
Uh, oh my goodness, twice in one day. Fancy seeing you here.
He says, "You dare interrupt, Slitherous?" And he steps forward, throws the coat rack to the side. Alita sighs and says, "I had so desperately hoped we could avoid this." And
Well,
starts to make a gesture with your hands. Let's have
uh-oh.
all of you go ahead and roll the lower of your cunning athletics or dexterity empathy.
Do, do, do. Athletics or I think it's gonna be dexterity and empathy. What is empathy? I got a dot in now. Moving up in the world.
Look,
I got nothing.
look at you.
I've just got one success.
All right, so you got 1. Bella got 0.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just a half a second while I find where you hiding, buddies. There you are. I apologize for that. Just some navigational issues. So Slitherous is going to be going on 3. Alita will be going on 3 as well. Alita puts her hand up, makes a gesture, and you feel a pulse of magical energy release throughout the room. This feels like a fairly strong spell, and without any sort of roll, I would say that Belladonna can recognize this as being like an illusion spell. She's basically put her entire quarters under an illusion. Nobody outside this room is going to be able to see or hear what's happening inside this room. Slitherous lunges forward and says, "I have had enough of your meddling, brat," and leaps at Bella.
Oh.
Yep. And as he does, in midair, you see his shape starting to shift. His limbs seem to be pulling inward, and his tail growing fatter, as if he is undergoing some sort of mystical metamorphosis.
Oh, it's gonna turn into a little lizard butterfly. That's probably bad.
Might not be great. So that is. Go ahead.
So I've done very little combat in a while in this game. Do I need to do things to defend myself?
So you will roll your resilience attribute of your choice, and that +1 will be your defense score. So if you wanted to rely on resolve to keep your cool, or to power through,
yeah.
composure to keep you cool, or stamina to just take it, whichever one you want to go.
Let's do resolve then. So resolve is 4.
Right.
And then I guess +1, so 5.
No, so you roll your resolve, and how many successes you get, you add that to 1, and that's your defense.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Yep.
Sorry, it's been way too long. So I have 2 successes.
You have a defense of 3.
Okay, awesome.
He lunges forward.
Thank you.
Does not injure you in any way, but as he lands before you, you see now he is probably about 8 feet long, completely serpentine, no limbs now. His scales seem to have grown thicker and taken on almost like a lacquered quality, like they're like a heavier sort of of armor that is surrounding him. That then will bring us to, I believe, Hilda, you had 1, right? Success on initiative, so you'll go next. What would you like to do?
I think I'm looking at the rewrite. I'm looking at the cinematics.
So yeah, you got 3 rewrites in the pool, so there's a lot of stuff you could probably drop.
Yeah. Do we feel like this is an arc villain?
Oh,
Like
Slitherous, probably.
yeah, it's fair to
Slithers
say.
probably, but not.
I mean, maybe Ayla's. Are the powers combined?
Because we
Sorry,
could
not
use
Ayla's.
you'll never.
Ayla's is definitely not the arc villain.
We could use you'll never get away with this, which would guarantee that the next time we see them, or one of the times next times we see them, that we will defeat them. But it would mean that they get away this time, probably.
So with this, you're designating when you activate the cinematic, you're choosing a foe to be your arch enemy.
Okay.
And that costs 3 rewrites. The second time you use it, it costs 1 rewrite.
I see.
But and on the second time that you use it, when you use it on that enemy, they and their unnamed minions cannot win a roll against you. Any named lieutenants they have are unaffected. But that does not take into account until the second time that you face them.
Right.
So if you wanted to mark one of them as your villain, you absolutely could for 3 rewrites.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for me to use on the mirror guy. But maybe not this guy.
Could be fun to force into monologue.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
And
it would help give us some information.
Very easily be quite revealing to you.
I think that would be good. How much does that cost?
Pause to monologue is 1.
Let's do that.
Excellent. And which villain would you like to target with that?
I think probably Slitherous, right? Or do we want to know about it from Ayla's? Which do you think?
It's up to you. I think.
I will say that Slitherous is in an obviously much more bestial form now.
Right.
So let's go for Ayla's sister. Let's go
Alita. Excellent.
Alita.
Yeah.
All right. Alita will spend the next 2 turns monologuing no matter what you do, unless you directly attack them. So that brings us then to Bella, who hasn't actually acted yet, right?
No, not yet.
At a 0 initiative. So what would you like
out of the way?
Yeah, what would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna take some inspiration from Alita and try to get a bit of a scrying thing set up here, maybe a magical recording to be able to play back what has happened here in the future.
Oh, excellent.
Try to bypass that illusion effect.
Sure.
Thinking is that she'd love to blast it to the council chambers, but they're not in session right now, so that's not super useful.
They're not. If you wanted to try to, it hits you right away. There's 2 ways you could go about this. One would be to produce a magical recording of the event. The second would be to pump it through the ward, which you'd have to break through, directly toward the one other wizard in this building that you have enough familiarity that you could cast the spell without thinking too hard on it, which would be Mustachio.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Mustachio. All right, we're gonna try that. We're gonna try to broadcast straight to Mustachio.
Excellent.
And then be all like, but why? Why are you doing this?
Beautiful. Go ahead and give me a mysticism intellect. You will need to get some successes to cut through this. You have 2 rewrites left now. Do you want to spend those to add dice?
Yeah, I think at least one.
Sure. I mean, I would say spend them both because you're prone to get more
Are you
soon.
cool with spending both?
I'm more than fine with that. Yeah.
Okay,
And
sounds good.
I would also recommend if you have a quip you can throw in, might not be a bad idea.
Hmm. I don't think I've chosen any ones today that kind of work. I do have like, of course, it's a trap. Follow me, but that doesn't quite work phrasing wise for doing this. Other than like, of course, it's a trap. But
I would let, of course, it's a trap slide
okay,
for an extra +1 die.
sounds good. Sounds good.
So you should be now intellect mysticism +3. Is what you're
Sounds good. Okay, so hang on. Do. I've got a 9, an 8, and a 10. So I've got 4.
excellent. That is also sufficient to claim directorial control over the scene.
Ooh.
So you can alter a aspect of the scene, dictate how a piece of action directly goes. What would you like to use to leverage your directorial control?
I think I love the idea of Bella with like a broomstick trying to keep Slitherus away from biting at her, just like trying to brush him back while having this whole conversation. Hopefully, both of us having a whole conversation with Alita about why she's doing this and she's monologuing, and just having that as the whole image coming across.
I love it. So, and we'll go one further because there's magic at play. Like you animate a broom that's in the room and have it sort of
100%, yeah.
acting as your
She's not touching a broom herself.
as
Oh
your
my
defender.
goodness, no.
Wonderful. So we come back around to Alita. Alita spends the first round saying, "You just couldn't leave well enough alone, could you? Your mother has a plan for the world, a plan that she has come to after much consideration and heartbreak. Do you not understand how badly she is wounded right now? Do you not know the loss she has experienced? This is the only reasonable course left to her after her heart was shattered in such a terrible fashion." That's the first round of the monologue. While that's going on, Slitherus is going to attempt to attack you. I'm going to give him a complication of, we'll say, 3 due to your broom defender.
Banishment.
In the event that he does not resolve that complication, he will take whatever amounts of complication to resolve as injuries to himself.
Oh wow.
But he is going to try to grab you. He's going to try to snatch you up. Yep. Not the best, most fun thing in the world.
Do.
All right.
I rolled a 1 for my defense, so I have a defense of 2.
All righty. Okay. So in order for him to grab you and not suffer the complication, you'd have to have 5 successes. He just needs 3 to actually get his hands on you if he wants to take the damage. And that is not even enough for that. So he suffers a level of damage as you see the broom like poke him in the eye as he lunges forward, and he lets out a horrible hiss and like bites at the broom, but there is no
I feel like Bella's being like a lizard matador here.
a little bit.
Doing
But
a very like, oh goodness, little step back every time he lunges forward.
and that then will bring us back around to Hilda. What would you like to do as Alita is monologuing and Slitherus is trying to eat Bella?
I think I'm just just saying to Ayla, "Oh, please, we all have problems," and then I'm going to try and sort of take the sword and pin Slitherus to the ground.
Excellent. Go ahead and give that a shot. So we'll do close combat and might. Does get a defensive roll. which didn't suck. So his defense is 4.
I got 4.
All right. Does that include the enhancement from your sword?
Yes.
All right. So you hit him with the sword, but it like bounces off of his armored scales.
Yeah.
Bella, is there anything else that you are doing amid
I think
this?
just trying to maintain the conversation.
All right, so just keeping your attention focused on
Very much trying not to be eaten by a terrifying snake person, but also really wants to know the monologue's outcome. So she's not leaving. She's going to maintain the spell, and actually, you know what? Maybe very specifically and just unceremoniously hide behind Hilda a little bit, just like pirouette to be on the other side.
easily done. And Alita says, your mother had truly believed that the world did have hope so long as there was a bright force standing against her. But when Hilda retired and Golden Goldmane fell to corruption, your mother lost all hope.
Tell her I'm coming. Yeah.
All right.
Is it my turn?
Not quite yet. It is Slitherus is going to take another swipe first. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Slitherus takes another wound, but absolutely does bite Bella.
Oh. Oh. How badly?
You take 1 damage from the bite, and then I need you to roll Resolve plus Stamina, please.
Okay, great. Dun, 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 dun. I love the inclusion of Resolve there. That's great. I don't know what stamina is. I have 3.
All right. It does not wound you yet, but you can feel like a heat at the bite location where a venom has been introduced. We'll say into your like collarbone area.
Yeah, it's a big dramatic spot. Uh-oh.
Now the initiative does come around to Hilda. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try again to pin this guy to the floor with my sword.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me the close combat and might, please, with your 2 enhancement for the sword.
Okay. That's 5.
Nice. You absolutely do hit. Would you like to? So you have the option of dealing up to 3 damage, or you can take any of that and add it as a complication to Slitherus' next action, as you know, they basically have to wrestle from being pinned.
Yeah, I think I'll add a complication, like 2 damage, and then 1 complication from just kind of being pinned like a butterfly to the ground.
Excellent. So that will wind up with 4 complication on Slitherus' next action, 3 from the broom, 1 from the pin. Either one of those that are unresolved can lead to damage. That will bring us around to Bella. What would you like to do? You can clearly see that it clicks with Alita how much she's just spilled the beans. And you can see like the regret, like, oh no, what did I do, on her face. But you have time to react first. So what would you like to do?
Wins in pain, but try to still maintain a bit of a stoic look. And then probably, I guess, say some stuff. So probably start with like, so what? Our plan is to snuff out all light out of nostalgia for a particularly bright one. And then we'll attempt to push her down with a magical effect.
All right. Give me a mysticism intellect. She will attempt to hold her ground with resolve. That's not great. All right, go ahead and roll.
I got 2.
Yeah, 2. All right. You Are you using like a gust of wind? Is this like a hand that appears and
I'd
pushes
like
her?
a
What
gust
is?
of wind that's just continuously blowing her down. So it's all like hair flying all over the place and a big, huge fan for production to have to drag in here.
Sure. You blow her like onto her back. She slides along the floor, hits her head on her like shift robe, and the wood of that cracks. And you can clearly tell like you just kind of rang her bell. As she takes 2 levels of damage from botching her defense roll, and then you hitting her.
God. And so she'll leave no room for another flame to grow. Ridiculous.
She says her heart is shattered, and she tries to like get to her feet.
It's always her skull, it looks like.
She rubs her nose, and some blood runs out of it. I would like you, Bella, to go ahead and give me another resolve and stamina roll, please.
Uh-oh. I got 1.
All right, you take 1 level of damage as the poison begins working its way through. You both can clearly see this green streaking start to appear under Belladonna's skin where it's exposed due to the wound.
Uh-oh. And just checking out how damage works here too, because I got just a flesh wound and then there's archetype dice. I don't have any archetype dice, right?
Yes, any of your skills that you got from your archetype
Oh, right.
get
Okay.
a bonus
I gotta double
when
check
you're
that.
wounded. Yep. Your archetype is Sage,
is that
right?
only when you? Is that only when you fill up the whole track, or is that when?
As soon as you
got
get
any
into that
damage?
track, then you get that effect.
Oh, then I need to start adding that. I have been
Yep.
doing that.
Yeah, once you're in that track, you get that effect.
Awesome. All right. So
So yeah, any of your archetype skills get that extra die. So yeah, now that she's sort of wrestled her way to her feet, she's going to say, in order to build a new, brighter world, we must first let the darkness devour this one. And she, her eyes go black, and she starts chanting in that old serpent tongue, and makes a fist. And as she does make that fist, she's going to try to cast a spell at our good friend Bella. Now, Bella, you can use mysticism to try to avoid this.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Try to redirect it a little bit.
However, she can exert scale on this roll. So you're going to basically have 2 additional successes you're going to be down 2 successes from whatever she
Okay.
rolls.
Is this maybe mysticism and cunning or?
Mysticism cunning would be fine, yeah.
Okay. So I have 2.
All right, so she has 5. Yeah, including the scale.
I have to figure out how many health boxes I have exactly in a moment here, I think.
As she squeezes her hand, you realize there's not a direct magical effect happening, but you do feel, and in fact, Hilda, you can see the poison start spreading much more rapidly in Bella's body.
Oh no.
Slitherus is going to lunge forward and try to bite Hilda now. So Hilda, if you could please give me a defensive roll. It was not a great roll on his part. So which resilience attribute would you like to rely on?
she's frozen.
Who's frozen?
Is she frozen? Bella?
Oh, I was reading stuff. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. It is your. You would need to make a defensive roll though. Slitherus is actually leaping toward you now. So would you like to lean on your stamina or resolve or composure for Hilda?
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
Well then that's me. So I am going to rely on my I think my resolve.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a resolve roll, please.
Got 2 successes.
Excellent. Slitherus lunges forward toward you, ripping, like splitting his tail basically to get off of the sword, and runs like straight into the broom that sort of flies up and shoots down his throat. He gags for a second, spits up the broomstick in a shower of gore as his body sort of shakes and tumbles and he falls to the ground, resuming his more humanoid serpent people form. However, now with a forked tail.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he is severely wounded, bleeding badly, and shivering on the ground. And with that, it becomes then Hilda's turn. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take the sword since he's off of it, and I'm gonna take the pommel and hit Alita in the head. Try and get her to stop.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a might close combat. She will roll stamina.
So I'm rolling 11 die because so this is a ridiculous number of dice. God. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 successes.
Excellent. Yeah, you bonk her on the head, and she goes, "That wasn't very sport," and just passes. Bella, give me a resolve composure roll, but this time, or I'm sorry, resolve stamina roll, but this time you need 5 successes.
Great. I have that many dice.
Uh,
Well, I got 3.
All right, you take 2 damage as the poison continues spreading through your body.
So I should probably pause here to figure out exactly how many archetype dice I have. I've been trying to find that in the
Oh,
rule book
sure. So
for
you're
Sage.
a sage, right? So you should have on your sheet. Did you put AR next to any of your skills?
yeah, did you mark the
Um,
skills as you?
But yeah, I've marked my skills as being from the archetype. So like mysticism, persuasion.
Yeah, those are the ones that it mean.
enigmas,
Those
and
are-
academic.
Those are the skills that would refer to. Then.
Okay, so but then how does that impact health?
As you get more injured, you gain dice on your archetype skills.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So it's the John McClane thing, right? Like the more beat up you
Right,
get,
okay,
the
that makes
better
a lot of
you
sense.
are, because you're a hero in
So
a,
then
in
for
a movie.
when I take damage, if I take more damage right now, so I've taken 1 and it's just a flesh wound.
Right.
Wait, am I marking the right side of this, not the left side?
You should just
For
go.
damage?
It should just go all the way across. I go.
Okay, so it goes like left to
but-
right the whole
yeah.
way across.
and then
Okay,
down to the
okay.
next line, and then down to the next line.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have more health than I was supposed to have, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So then, how many did I take from the poison again? Sorry.
3.
Great. So I'm down into that'll leave a scar now, I think.
Yeah, and like there's like green veins like up into her face and stuff.
So you look rad.
Something like that. Yeah. For cripes.
You can do
And then I guess
possibly
is it
on
her
your
action?
turn some kind. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could
Well,
probably do some kind of mysticism or medicine roll on yourself.
yeah.
She probably should, but
you-
that's sensible. Instead, so Alita's out.
Alita's out and Slitherus is down.
Okay, then yeah, let's do a little bit of that instead. Yeah, I was tempted to she'll definitely like lean over Alita, like she's going to do a magical effect that's probably going to tear her to shreds, and then we'll instead turn it inwards and try to heal herself.
All right. Give me mysticism and cunning, please.
Do cunning is particularly nice. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, no, those are 6s, not 9s. Like 8, 9. I've got 4.
All right. You start casting a spell, trying to basically pull the poison out of your system. So what you see, Hilda, is she kind of leans over aggressively over Alita and then reaches up with a hand, still probably giving Alita some stink eye as she reaches and starts like literally physically pulling poison out through the wound. Still, though, not quite enough to have gotten it all. So give me another resolve stamina roll, please.
It sounds good. I have 1.
You don't take any further damage, but you can still feel that little bit of poison is in there. Is there anything that Hilda would like to do to address the situation, or are you doing something else while she's working on the poison?
I think I don't have enough die to be of good use as a healer, so I'm probably gonna grab the leggings off the door and start. I think I'm probably gonna start tying Alita up.
Okay, excellent. You swing the door open to grab the leggings off the handle as you see a pair of tentacles made of black hair sort of reaching for the door. And about 20 feet down the hallway, you see Mustachio shouting, "Fret not, I've come to save you."
Is Mustachio coming to save us, or Alita?
He grabs.
I'm gonna close the door. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. As you
Oh,
close,
do you say that out loud?
Yeah, like is he coming to save us earlier?
Paine's trying to deal with poison stuff. Squint, very, very begrudgingly, I think he's here to save us.
Great. Just hog time, Lita.
all right.
Pop's getting a sock and stuffing in her mouth so she can't cast if she wakes up.
Excellent. You are tying her up. I'm not going to make you roll for that. You're just able to do it, no problem. And tying her up and gagging her. The door bursts open as you can clearly see that Mustachio has wrapped his mustache on both door frames and pulled himself down the hallway through the door. So he just shatters through the door, and then his mustache sort of reels in like a fishing reel back to its normal Raleigh Fingers-esque sort of position. And he says, "I've come to save you."
Thanks.
Thanks.
I
knew if I shared what was happening to you, they would believe me.
His mustache wiggles out and like grabs both sides of your wound and starts like squeezing basically as poison like bursts forth in a shower. You're no longer taking any more damage, but it didn't feel
emotional damage.
Didn't feel good.
Mustache.
Yeah. He sort of pulls away gently, caressing the area of the wound with the mustache.
Gonna kill this guy one day.
He says, "Are you well?" And then sort of like runs his fingers through the mustache to clean the blood and the poison off of it.
Thank you. It's tricky to pull all of that out of oneself.
Yes, I would imagine. So it seems we have a traitor on the council.
Sorry, Hilda. I did an inverse scrying and sent what I was seeing to Mustachio. If I sent it to anyone else, they would never believe me. But if I sent it to this fine fellow, I definitely always have gotten along with at all times, they'll definitely believe me. They'll believe you at least.
Quite frankly, I thought it was a trick until I saw Hilda grabbing something off the door.
By a lizard.
You were. That looked painful.
It was. Yes, I don't recommend it.
Well, we have some
worst babysitter ever. Gonna kick him a little.
There are poultices and whatnot we can treat you with, but before that, it seems that we will need to imprison these folks. His mustache wiggles a little bit, and he says, "I've called for the guards to bring some anti-magic shackles to tie them both up with. did you gain intelligence from this interaction that has helped you determine more about the threat that our world suffers?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good, good. What can the council do to help?
Well, we could learn some more about specific locations, and there's some magic that I'm confused by, but got a little bit of the motivation, I think, for why Mother is doing what she's doing.
Well, perhaps I can assist you. It would surprise me a little if there were some subtleties to these magical writings that are beyond
Of
your grasp, given the
course.
fact that you have abandoned your training and not completed your studies.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Of
So
course.
If
Would appreciate the insistence.
he
Gah.
places a mustache tentacle on your shoulder and says, "I know that was difficult for you."
It
Thank you.
was.
And sort of like reaches up and like pinches your cheek with the mustache and then
Uh,
reels it back in.
Ooh. If the council could, I think we originally came here to call upon the heroes, correct? Like that was one of the things we wanted was just to
Well,
call upon.
so when I know that this was a couple sessions back, but just as a refresher,
Yeah.
when you first got into town, you did go to the council and plead your case. Alita tried to sort of downplay what was going on, but ultimately,
Mhm.
and as did Mustachio, tried to basically make it sound like Bella couldn't be trusted. But
That's
ultimately,
valid.
after all of that argument, though, you all did very well, and you talked them into sending out the messenger pigeons. So that was what had happened
Awesome.
just before Ham-Fisted attacked. So there are other heroes of the land, sort of being informed. The other mage towers are getting this information. They know what to look for and who to stand against. And if you
Mhm.
need to call for more reinforcements at some point, you can.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'll just say it sounds like they think that the only way to create heroes is to do some great evil, which is incredibly twisted.
It is very
But
twisted. Perhaps
I mean, gotta rise up against something, but I think the desire to snuff everything out and hope that a future flame lights for some reason feels quite bizarre. You need a spark, right?
do you have these materials for me to review?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm just
yes. Sorry, my bag just has an accordion in it. I think she's got the map.
Of course.
yeah, I think yeah. And
Let's
I'll take out the mirror shard.
the guards come rushing in, and they have these shackles made out of special magical material that they chain up Alita and Slitherus
I
with.
think Bella will look distinctly uncomfortable seeing those.
They drag them off to the holding cells, and Mustachio leads you down to the library where he will review these runes and give you some insight into what is going on. But first, I think we're going to take 5 for biological and technological needs, and then we'll come
Sounds
back and
good.
have
Sounds
some
good.
exposition when we're done with
Woo!
that. So, everybody, if you're watching right now, just hang tight. We'll be back momentarily. If you're looking for something to do while we are handling our biological and technological needs, head over to the link tree and sign up to be informed when At the Gates goes live over on crowdfunding by BackerKit. Or if you've not yet done so, pretty pleased with sugar on top, head over to Drive Through RPG and pick up They Came from the Cyclops' Cave, available in both POD and PDF. I've just thrown the link to both the link tree and that in the chat. If you're watching live, hang out, check those things out. We'll be back momentarily. If you're watching this in VOD, fast forward till you see our pretty faces again. We'll see you in a minute.
See you in a little bit.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. If you're just now joining us, we are playing They Came from the Cyclops' Cave. Our heroes have just made their way into the Mage Tower, where they faced off with Alita and Slitherus, who they have incapacitated and have now been taken into custody. They have begrudgingly accepted or called for and accepted aid from Mustachio, Bella's sort of rival on the Mage Council, and he has taken them to the library to help decipher the various runes and to try to make some sense of the map. Once you're down there, Mustachio looks at the runes on the window frame for a moment, looks at the map, and says, I'm going to need to bring someone in on this that may have a little bit more insight than I. Give me just a moment. And he sits back and closes his eyes. And you see a third eye open on his forehead, and then his mustache ends like roll out to a straight point and then start like wiggling back and forth a little bit. And then there is a poofing sound to the side of you, and you see a puppet about 3 feet tall or so, dressed in blue robes with a yellow like ascot, a very large blue hat that's like sticks out like this, and just you can sort of see yellow orbs sticking out from underneath the hat. And it says, "You have summoned me. Hey, how's it going?"
It's going pretty well. How are you?
Hi, I'm Max the Magnificent.
Oh, Mags. Sorry, I'm never sure. Hope you're doing well.
Oh,
Good things.
wonderfully. Yes, I'm doing quite well. But what did you need from me? Mustachio says,
Do you know Hilda, warrior princess?
only by reputation. Wow, you're like a real hero.
Thank you. Can you help us decipher this?
Oh,
It's a little bit about mirror.
goodness. Yeah, I can tell you a lot about. Well, the mirror, maybe not so much, though. I think I know where I've seen that before. I can certainly tell you about that map, though. That peak is where Skullface used to keep his hideout. And that's where Golden was lost. Mustachio says, Max was alongside Golden on his last adventure.
Oh, wow.
I hate to ask, but can you walk us through what took place there and how, if at all, it may be relevant to our current predicament? Max kind of floats over and looks down at the map and says, yeah, it was pretty awful. We had found out that Skullface had gathered together some ancient spells that would unlock this horrible thing called the Empty. And so Golden and we had teamed up with this, villain of the land called Mother Blightwood, and we went to the hideout to fight Skullface, and everything was going really well, and I thought that Blightwood was going to betray us, but she didn't. In fact, she was able to destroy the book that Skullface had, but Skullface was really strong, and so when he and Golden sort of locked up into a fight, they wound up falling into this bottomless pit that he had in his hideout, never to be seen again. I tried with all my magic to get to the bottom of that pit, but I couldn't find it. And then I helped Mother Blightwood get home. She was very heartbroken and never seen anybody so crestfallen. But I got her home and then I came back here.
Hmm.
When was
Is
this?
he dead?
I assume he's dead. I mean, or they're still falling. This was probably, 3 or 4 years ago now. It was after you retired for sure. And he points at Hilda.
Hmm. Well, maybe we should go there and see if we can't. I don't know. Not lower a rope. It's been years. I don't think we have years of rope.
No, but maybe there's clues there if you know the right magic.
Mhm.
It's true.
Certainly worth a look, I think.
Yeah.
Curious about if there's any remains of that book.
Now, all this area on the map here, this is where the empty is leaked out into, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think with my magic, I can probably get you a portal to get you pretty close to that hideout. So you don't have to go through all that blighted area. But I'm going to need to stay here to hold the portal open so that you can get back. Unless you want to risk it on your own.
No, I think we would appreciate the help.
If you're willing to do so, it saves us from taking my route.
Okay, it'll take a little while for me to make my preparations. Do you have anything that you need?
Oh, almost certainly. We'll need to get provisions and prepare and acquire our third. Who's somewhere.
Yeah.
Mustachio says, you shall have whatever you need. The Wizards Council will happily provide for it.
It's very gracious of you. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Agreed. Thank you.
Max says, if you do find Golden, tell him I'm real sorry and I looked real hard for him.
Will do.
It seems like the whole world, even the bad guys are sort of mourning Golden.
Well, he was probably the most inspirational hero we've ever had. He had, the power of light in his swords, and he would raise them aloft and say by the power of light, and then he would get superpowers. It was pretty awesome to behold. So I think
Pretty awesome.
maybe that might be why people got so sad when he died.
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe Mother Blaywood had a thing for him, the way they were talking.
She does have a thing for heroes.
It's gonna make the most awkward face. So, anyways.
Well, then we shall begin preparations. Max, gather what you need. Mustachio gets up and says, the library is at your disposal. Let us know what you need. But I'm going to go and try to clean up the mess that was left behind in Alita's room. And he extends out a mustache tentacle and swings away on it like Spider-Man. Is there?
I can't believe I asked that guy for help. I'm never gonna live this down.
Is there any?
Council session's gonna be the worst from now until perpetuity.
Is there anything that you want to look into or investigate or address while you're in the keep and you've got some time on your hands? Any last things you would like to get ready or find out or look into?
I think I'd like to start treating my wounds a little bit. I think finding somebody to.
Good
Yeah.
call. Good call.
Yeah.
You make your way
I'm,
to.
I'm happy to take a look, but I'm probably not up to snuff with a dedicated healer.
Sure. You make your way to the infirmary, where they're able to inject you with some anti-venom, do some basic dressing of your wounds and work some magical healing on you. You will both begin the next session completely healed.
Well,
Nice.
Any other things that you would like to look into or attempt or try to find out about?
Maybe we could look into bottomless pits.
conceptually, yeah.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Why don't you both roll? It would be your choice of mysticism or culture. Let's do it with intellect because you're taking the time to sort of search the library and see what you wind up with.
Wild. I have 4.
3.
Excellent.
Let's go.
So we'll say that with the 3, you're focusing on looking at bottomless pits, legends around them. As you're researching into it, you do find that the mountain range that Marta Peak is in was rumored to have holes in it that went through the earth all the way into the heart of the empty itself. And according to some scholars, they believe that this is why Skullface built his hideout in those mountains. Though nobody's quite sure where he came from, most scholars believe his origin was human, but that he had somehow unlocked ancient secrets of the serpent people from the days when they worshipped the empty, and that is what sort of drove his quest. You know that he commonly would use the bottomless pits as ways to execute not only his enemies but also his minions when he felt displeased with them. That's what you get with your 3. With the 4 successes, Bella, you learned that according to ancient serpent people beliefs, the empty once was all there was. And ancient gods and heroes got together and sort of piecemeal locked the empty away inside the core of the world. Little fissures have cracked out from time to time. Often when they do, cults will spring up in their presence.
Makes sense, I suppose. Not the most bottomless pit, though. Terrible branding.
It is not entirely accurate branding, if nothing else.
Bottom-ish pit.
Right. The other thing that you find out that's quite interesting is it seems that throughout history, the empty has empowered avatars at various points whenever it has threatened to escape its bonds. Those avatars almost invariably are magically mutated by the experience. The flesh of their face is invariably rotted off, replacing a foul skeletal visage.
That feels important. I share that with Hilda.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. Do you think it's him then?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean, I think, you know, like I say, it's this sort of I've never had a cold in my life kind of attitude. Like, well, if somebody kills your entire village, you just rise up and,
Yeah, you just
kill them right
stabbed them
back.
all.
Yeah. But this was a hero who fell.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a heroic thing, and that feels different. And this was the best of us. And I think I say that part out loud, like this was the best of us.
Well,
So
I guess people can change, eh?
unfortunately, yeah.
And sometimes kind of fortunately, elbow you a little.
Yeah, you're right, kid. I think just very awkwardly grandma pat on the back.
Oh, yay.
Mm.
Excellent. And with the pondering of the fall of what may have been one of the greatest heroes ever to live, and how what that means for you and how you're going to address it, that's where we'll leave our heroes in this moment of doubt and shaken confidence, and let the realization that you are going to be facing what is very likely a corrupted golden goldmane
Dun, dun, dun.
sort of sink in as you await the return of your associate, Alis. So that is where we will park this session.
Sounds
I
good.
greatly appreciate it. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about the story so
Thank
far?
you for game. It's nice.
Thank you. I
good.
appreciate it. As we discussed, I believe last session, next session we would normally do this every 2 weeks. The next session we're going to be out because I think everybody had something going on that weekend, and then we will be back the following normal time. So keep an eye on the social medias that you can find on our link tree that I'm about to throw in the chat. So that you know when we're going live next. We also do put that on the schedule here at the Twitch channel. So if you have not yet done so, please give us a follow and a sub and all that good stuff, so you know when we go live, and so that you can help us, spread the word about the channel and whatnot. Before we completely button things up, I do want to double check and see if we have any experience going out the door today. Did any of you? I guess we'll go one by one. Did Hilda achieve any aspirations, short or long term?
I think I defeated a minor foe.
Oh, sure, yeah. You can absolutely take a point for that. Any other short term aspirations?
Uh, did I save Bella from danger?
Oh, yeah, I would say that would count. Yeah, because Bella was
Oh, yeah. No, if she was there alone, she would have been in some big trouble.
right. Bella was in some shit. I mean, even not being alone, like Bella got poisoned horrendously badly.
Mhm.
So and survived because of
Nice.
your
Bella's not really capable of having a fight. So I can do a little bit of magic, pushing people around and throw people into stuff. But like, if a lizard's gonna bite her, she's gonna die. So.
You're our support. You're our area control mage, and turning to bard now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Dual cast.
Exactly
cast.
that. So that would be two short terms. What was your long term aspiration?
Fight a scale 3
Oh, okay, yeah,
foe.
not yet. But that's in the mail. All right, so you got your two shorts. So that's 2 XP plus you both get one just for showing up. Did you complete any of Bella's short term aspirations?
Maybe, but I think one of them I might have turned to Hilda on, because I have one. I had a short-term aspiration after last game, just predicting how this game might go, which was cause Hilda a brief concern, but convince her of Bella's super secret kind heart by the end.
Yeah,
Yeah?
you did that. I think you did that with the last interaction, actually.
Little elbow bump.
You reminded
There we
her.
go. There
Yeah,
we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's right. Get elbow bumped, nerd. Huh.
So that would be
Sweet.
1 point for resolving the short term aspiration. Plus, you would both get 1 point because all players achieve their short term aspiration.
Woo.
Woo.
I assume Bella did not achieve the long term aspiration.
No.
And what was it again, if you don't mind reminding me?
The long-term aspiration is kind of, I mean, I have like basically 2 here, but it starts with the resolve internal conflict, and it prove to herself that she's enough on her own.
Okay.
And as she is. She's not quite there yet.
No, I would say
Still living in the shadow of her terrifying murder mom.
Yep, still
And all of these other heroes.
in the midst. You did spend half the writer's pool on a single scene, so you may take a point there.
Yeah.
And you have reached a milestone, so you may take 1 more point. So it looks like it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for Bella, 6 for Hilda. Does that
Sounds
sound
good to
about
me.
right? All right, rock and
That
roll.
sounds right.
In the meantime, between now and next session, feel free to spend your points. If you have any questions, you all know where to find me. And speaking of where to find me, if you're watching this either live or in VOD, you want to try to get a hold of me, I'm at Travis Legg pretty much everywhere on the internet. My pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. And let's go ahead and have our wonderful cast give us their outros. And this time we'll have MK go first. So if you could please tell us who you are, what you do, who you played, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you'd like to promote.
I am MK Anderson, any pronouns, but you can use she, her as a default. I am an editor of light novels and for Onyx Path Publishing, and occasionally I write games. You can find me at qualia.bluesky.social. And I played Hilda, warrior princess, she, her.
Rock and roll. And played quite well, might I add. And speaking of people who played quite well, Millie, your pertinence, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm pertinent. My name is Millie, and or Bunny Hearted. My pronouns are she and her, or they and them. I guess you can find me at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted, where I do VTuber activities, play a lot of like indie games, and getting into a lot of space stuff currently. I have been playing Belladonna Blightwood, who uses she and her. I'm really enjoying this game so far. I cannot wait to see how it continues, and I'm so stoked for next time. Thanks for having me.
Likewise, and thank you for being here. No, it's been a lot of fun. It's been nice to plant some seeds. I am definitely looking forward to next session where Alis will return. You all will make your way through a lovely portal and possibly face down Skullface.
Oh no! How did that happen?
He does not want to feel good. He wants to feel evil.
Of course, we're gonna have an evil cackle competition. New plan.
Yeah, it's a cackle off.
Oh no, Hilda's gonna win! Secret villain all along. Hilda, warrior princess,
Oh, that's a
turns to
twist.
darkness.
And just side swapping all over the place. You never know. It's twists and turns all around. So yeah, we should be back here in about 4 weeks' time, give or take. And hey, Dorktails, good to see you in the chat. You showed up just as we're
Hi,
getting ready to hit the
Welcome.
road. But I'm going to give you a shout out anyway because Dorktails is awesome. And speaking of which, if you have not yet done so, please, make sure you're following all the good folks on their various socials as well as on the Twitter machine. If you get the chance to pop in and shoot a follow, a sub over to Bunny. I know Bunny is in the midst of what is the technical term?
I mean, I call it a quest, but it's a partner push. I convinced Twitch to say yes to my partner application because so far they've given me like a solid maybe. They're like, I don't know, keep doing stuff. And I'm like, all right, let's do stuff.
Well, yeah, and so please support Bunny's quest and or partner push. If your preference is questy type things, which I suspect it may be, if you're here watching Cyclops' Cave, you have a quest now. Go support Bunny.
No,
Do it. Do it, or I don't know. I'll be sad. If you're down in Chicago, I know a buddy of mine and friend of the channel, Dave Rodriguez, is down in C2E2 with BattleMech's new comic premiere. I'm going down for the after party to see them. But if you happen to be in C2E2 this weekend, go look for the booth that David Rodriguez is at and check out the new comic BattleMechs. Looks like it's going to be super fun. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Wash your hands, get your shots, all that fun stuff. And we will see you again real soon. Bye.
take care, y'all.